What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It is your main man, juggernaut of multi-platinum production team, Arkatech Beatz. Welcome to the Music Review live stream series. Powered by SoundSurge.com. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live stream. Since we started this live stream series for music reviews, we've had a total of 1,845 submissions.
Arkatech Beatz.
We've been listening to a lot of music, man. We've been trying to help a lot of people, you know. If it's your first time here, make sure you like, commenting, and subscribing. We are streaming on all platforms. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live stream as we get warmed up here. Get this algorithm heated up, if you know what I mean. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. We're definitely listening to Punch Choice tonight. Everybody jumping into the live stream, man. We're about to jump into this thing. Make sure you are jumping into SoundSurge.com, the #1 place now for independent music discovery. It's a new platform. Make sure you're checking it out. We got a top 5 song, Some Broke Baby by Alani Lyles, Silent Stoner, Out of Stone, my girl Cody. Let's go. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into submitting their music. We're listening to everything. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. The name of this beat is called Fly Away. He said, what's the biggest record? I don't know. Some people would say it's Max B, Why You Do That. Some people would say Big Pun, Capital Punishment. You know what I'm saying? Some people would say Big Pun, Leatherface. People would say Nas and Prodigy, Self-Conscious. You know, it depends on what your vibe is. Shout out French Montana, Max B, Wave Guards. You can check our record out, Me Too. Everything on that as well. Thanks for joining us. Bus, what up? We're about to get into these reviews in a hot second. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live. Beat is called Fly Away, man. We're about to jump into some music now. About to listen to a couple of joints. If it's your first time here, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and sharing the live. You know what I'm saying? If you're not familiar with us, like I said, man, I'm part of Arkatech Beatz. My name is Juggernaut. Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. We are responsible for producing for your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Big Pun, Prodigy, of Mobb Deep, Nas, The Game, Lloyd Banks, Max B, French Montana. Have I ever heard the Czechoslovakian rap? I haven't really heard it, man, but I'm willing to take a listen to it. You know what I'm saying? The main thing that I'm out here checking out for, man, and I want folks to kind of understand how I do it on outside, man. The music reviews is a little bit different from what everybody else is really putting out here. Our experience is well over 20 years, and our experience is not only in music production, but also as A&R executives and consultants for Loud Records, brand ambassadors for companies like Song Trust, Splice, Cloud Bounce, which is now part of FL Studio, Image Line. And we're just part of the a different type of music business echelons. You know what I mean? So we also have the music producer group. It's called school.com/Future Producer Society. That's where we're teaching the music business. It's free to join. You can learn music publishing. Our queue stays open. That's why it's so large, and people submit round the clock. You know what I mean? So. For people who want to get their record listened to, it's first come, first serve. And we're listening to songs. We've listened to a total of 800 songs, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we're doing a bunch of things on our channel. So not only are we kind of teaching the music business, we're also trying to help folks understand, proper song structure. Trying to help folks to understand, how to get things, how to get their beats where they need to get their beats to, how to get their songs to commercial viability. I'm not just listening to people's music and saying, hey, I listened to your song and, I don't have any feedback. I'm really trying to help folks to really understand how to get their records a little bit better. Nah. I don't do it that way. I leave my stream, I leave my queue open, man. And really it's first come, first serve. I've listened to over 800 songs, man. So it's not that we ain't listening. We are listening to these records, man. It's just, so I kind of leave it open. And then again, we have the other platform that we're working on as well. This is soundsurge.com. This is for independent artists. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a new independent music discovery platform where folks are able to upvote songs, share songs, able to gift independent artists. And what happens is it helps to build traffic for a lot of artists. So once people click on your link, it can go over to your Spotify pages or whatever your DSP is at, and will count as streams and will help to get folks royalties. So, at the end of the day, what we try to do is we try to see if we can bring things to folks first, man. That's why I said we were early Song Trust ambassadors, early ambassadors for Splice and things like that. So different companies, different things that we work with, just so that folks kind of understand what we're trying to do in terms of helping artists and helping producers. This is really the thing that we're trying to do the best here. I'm going to jump into a joint now. What's this joint called? Alone by Buddha, right? And for folks who are just jumping in, man, remember I got the Future Producer Society. For folks who are trying to understand, song structure and everything else in between, every now and again I'll put some infographics up so folks can kind of see what I'm talking about when I say, hey, man, your song ain't got the right song structure. You can kind of see what I'm recommending to tell folks in terms of what their song structure should be. And this is stuff like this that I share inside of our group at our Future Producer Society. so that you kind of get an understanding of like, yo, I'm really trying to show folks how to get it done, man. You got to understand that I've been in the room with some of the best rappers ever, you know, best artists ever, Grammy nominated artists, Maya, Shorty Low, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying, Killer Mike, Alley Boy the Don, rest in peace, you know what I'm saying. So many different artists that I've had the ability to work with in my career, and still working now. You know, like I said, Max B at a heavy clip right now. We're doing Max B, French Montana. You know what I'm saying? So, new music with Max B and Wiz Khalifa coming soon. New music with Max B and 2 Chainz coming. So we got so much music coming out. So I'm just trying to let folks know, man, it's just the real deal over here, man. And it's for real, not for fake. So shout out to everybody jumping into the live. I'm gonna go into this first joint called "Alone" by Buddha. Is it Bubba? Bubba. I don't know if this is a beat or if it's a song, but we're about to find out. Oh, nope, song is gone. He pulled it down. Shout out to them. Love to Hate by, who is this by? Smooth. Let's take a listen. Let's see what it sounds like.
Ever had the feeling that you're that close to losing your
mind? I'm a grind, taking my time, taking what's mine, keep it in mind. I ain't even in my prime. Critics tell me what I can't do and what I can't be. Too young to be in this industry. That I can't rap, that I can't spit. Stand no chance, so you gotta quit. Yeah, what were you doing at 16? Keep telling me what I can't do, but I come back like I'm a critic fiend. I like the critics, I like the hate. Keep driving me, I don't fade away. I'm back, I wasn't gone long. Now tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me that I can't get rich, that I can't get kids, that I can't put ice all up on my wrist, that I won't do shit, that I might as well quit. The time that I put in, I'll never make it hit. I like hearing that. Make a song and I come back. Keep telling me what my song lacks. Make a new one and pick up the slack. Yeah, I don't hate critics for real. Why? They like a coach for real. Okay, tell me what I can do better for real. Facts, they pay me for real. Stupid, funny, huh? How you my biggest fan? Keep coming back for more. You eat it out my hand. You flex your cars, your girls, your bank account. Sad how you flex that. That's how you get your clout, huh? Like when you get stuck, you use daddy's money. He tells you you can do it and that you make it out and keep working, buddy. That ain't how life works. He ain't gonna wipe your nose when it gets bloody. Gotta be prepared when it gets muddy. This ain't gambling, you can't get lucky. Mine, I'm a grind, taking my time, taking what's mine, keep it in mind. I ain't even in my prime. Critics telling me what I can't do and what I can't be. Too young to be in this industry. That I can't rap, that I can't spit. Stand no chance, so you gotta quit. Yeah, I ain't quitting, man. You here for me, yeah, you teach me what to do better, man. That's your fault. Yeah, I ain't leaving, man. I'm only 16. I got a long way to go. I can do this shit all day.
Shout out to shout out to Smooth J on this one, man. This one's called Love to Hate. I feel like he got a good voice, and I feel like he got a good rap cadence. This record starts off a little funny to me.
ever had the feeling that you're that close.
Like it's like what's happening is like it has like a very, very low volume and fidelity. I would definitely make sure that we're working to get that, like, you know, either put a limiter on it or a compressor to get it up so that it can, you know, match the volume of the beat that comes in behind it, because right now it doesn't sound like it's matching at all. Because it's not a bad intro per se, it's just the fidelity is not there, so it kind of makes us wonder what's coming next. Pause.
Mine, I'm a grind, taking my time, taking what's mine, keep it in mind. I ain't even in my prime. Critics telling me what I can't do and what I can't be. Too young to be in this industry. That I can't rap, that I can't spit. Stand no chance, so you gotta quit. Yeah, what were you doing at 16? Keep telling me what I can't do, but I come back like I'm a critic fiend. I like the critics, I like the hate. Keep driving me, I don't fade away. I'm back, I wasn't gone long. Now tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me that I can't get
first part of the record, I'm going to assume that this is the hook, because he does say it again later on in the record. And look, if he's gonna use that part of the record as the hook, he can do that. The issue that I'm having with it is that it doesn't stand out enough, right? Because it starts to feel like it's just one long verse, right? So this is part of the issue with these songs that when I tell folks, hey, I want you to really focus on this song structure, because it starts to feel like one long verse, and you have to make sure that your music is following that also along with your vocal performance, that your vocal performance is matching the track musically, and the track musically is doing what I suggest as a song structure, right? So a song arrangement. So like when I'm putting this graphic up when I'm putting this graphic up on the screen, and I'm trying to show folks what I'm recommending as the song structure currently, right? Because current song structure might be different from what it used to be back in the days when we were talking about 16-bar verses and things of that nature. This is kind of like an abridged version of that, right? Where it has basically only two verses. You know, we break down things into mini verses, very small intros, maybe 4 bars tops, right? We're not doing anything that's too heavy. And then we're going into the hook starting off the record, because everything right now is about a hook, whether it's a content that you're making, everything needs to have a hook. So, you know, we always talk about setting off your record with a very short intro, 4 bars tops, then going into what I would call the hook, then going into the verse, a mini verse, and then going back to the hook and then repeating that. And to me, this is the best way to kind of get your record to not get skipped. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to do stuff so it doesn't get skipped. So with this guy's record right now, I feel like the hook isn't standing out in the way that I think it possibly could. You know, and that could be because he's not, he's not like maybe doubling the hook up, or putting stacks, or putting certain ad-libs on it to make it stand out. Because we need to make it stand out as best as we can from the rest of the verse. Right, so what I'm sharing with folks is I'm just sharing a recommended structure, and like I said, this is the stuff that we share inside of our producer group, the Future Producer Society. I'm really teaching folks how to do this music business. We're really talking about music production techniques. We're talking about different things as it relates to copyright, music publishing, everything in between. E-commerce, direct-to-consumer sales, everything that we're doing, I'm trying to make sure that I'm showing folks the whole gamut. But this record, again, like I said, this needs a little bit more work on the hook. I think the verses are decent. The flow is decent. We just need to have a hook in the front, middle, and end, and maybe just 12 bars in the middle. And make sure that the beat is basically breaking down the way that it needs to break down in the appropriate song structure to match the vocal performance.
And at 16, keep telling me,
because I feel like the beat is pretty tough.
What I can't do, but I come back like I'm a critic fiend. I like the critics, I like the hate. Keep driving me, I don't fade away. I'm back, I wasn't gone long. Now tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me that I can't get rich, that I can't get kids, that I can't put ice all up on my wrist, that I won't do shit, that I might as well.
And you say you're only 16, so if that's the case, man, they really got a bright future. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. Make sure that y'all are jumping into that Sound Surge, submitting your records over there. This is the place, again, man, for music discovery. For folks who may not be familiar with it, it's called soundsurge.com. That's SOND, surge.com. And again, it's for independent artists and producers. There are producer charts, there are artist charts, and different genres as it starts to fill up, because it's definitely a new platform. Folks get to upvote, folks get to share, folks get to gift, right? So there's a gifting system in here that you can support independent artists. And I think it's kind of a robust gifting system as compared to maybe like a YouTube or even a TikTok. Because I think here they do an 85-15 split, where YouTube is almost 60% in some cases, right? Depending on the kind of gifts you're getting sent to you. Shout out to Boy Swagger in the building. Shout out to everybody that's jumping in. Mr. Bob, thanks for the follow. Shout out everybody that's jumping in. We're going to jump into this next joint called Hocus Pocus by Clown Headhunter. Let's see what it sounds like.
kids, be free. Do whatever you want to do, just as long as you don't hurt anybody.
Serial slaughtering strangulars, juggling, juggalos, necromantic fucking freaks. They all fucking days in the house. Abracadabra, I'm going to kill and spell, stop ya. Demons crawl out and grab ya. Hocus fucking pocus. I said this once before, it goes hardest dog orders. Call me a psycho, schizo, psychotic freak, and I'll call you by your name. Because I'll give two shits to the fuck plus I'm morbidly insane. I'm in the Jenny's ass on with the shore. It's hocus pocus, crocus, hypnosis, great smelling core.
Shout out to who's this clown headhunter. You know, really kind of a basic hip hop joint. You know, basic boom bap type joint. The issue that I'm having with it for me is the flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might seem like more of a spoken word type of thing that he's doing on this joint. And for me, I need the joints to be more like, you know, if we're going to rap, we need it to be rap cadence, rap flow, rap melody. Like, we kind of need that versus just kind of like, you know, jumping on the track, kind of just saying whatever you want to say. You know, I mean, listen, there's a lane for everything on the internet. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to provide over this side, I'm trying to provide, you know, the service where folks can learn how to get their music as best, you know, as big and as the best as possible. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nothing But Butter in the building. What up? Shout out to her. Make sure you check her out. You know what I'm saying? Out here getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. For my folks that are in my Future Producer Society, I just gave them that that song structure, that song structure roadmap framework. So I already dropped it into our group. So if you're not part of that Future Producer Society group, make sure you jump into that. I'll put the link into the chat. Shout out everybody jumping into the live. So Thursday night, man, slow motion. Trying to make it do what it do. Trying to play more music and less talking, right? This joint is called Appointment by Savage. I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm going to let it ride out. Savage Quantino.
Give me a sign. Give me a sign that you fucking with the kid. I'm on your man. If I'm being honest, once you have my kid, I ain't wasting no time. Want you on the left, 40 on my right side. Just in case a nigga try to get up out of line. So sophisticated, I'ma call you Caroline. And I know you want me. You know that I want you. Ain't nothing that can stop us. When my line ring, I know that you want your appointment. Your appointment. I know that you want your appointment. Your appointment. I know that you want your appointment. Your appointment. I know that you want your appointment. Oh, that you want your appointment. Let the world know half of y'all see you cross the room. Know them niggas.
Shout out to Savage Quanito. Shout out to Savage Quanito, man. This is an Afrobeat type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a decent attempt. I think that it just needs a little bit more seasoning. I'm gonna call it seasoning, man, but I really call it like everything requires more repetitions, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing stuff in this business, everything takes time for you to develop. You know what I'm saying? So like you need time to develop in terms of like what I'm hearing in terms of the way that he's rapping, his cadence, his you know, his tone, a little bit too much auto-tune. Just trying to figure out what your rhythm is and how your voice sounds on the track. To me, it sounds very early in your journey. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely try to tell you to just kind of make sure you're working on your vocal performances. Make sure you're working on the timing. Make sure you're working on your cadence, your breath control, you know. Making sure that you're not sounding like you're just talking on the track kind of nasally. So you just got to kind of work through that, you know what I mean? So that's going to take some time, man. And, you know, it's not easy. That's the one thing I could tell you. For the people that's been doing this for a long time, you know, I guess everybody can attest how long they've been doing it and how long it takes to really find that cadence. You know, how long does it really take to find, like, you know, like how long does it really take to find like your true sound? You You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something. It's not for the weak. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where I always try to tell folks that they got to really get it done already. You know what I mean? Jay Cherry, man, if you submitted it, if you submitted it, there's 1,000 songs in the queue. So if you submitted it, you have to probably put in for a skip for me to hear it live right now. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the joint. Shout out to my man Deuce Nines. This joint right here is called Precipice. Right, by Cammy. And this was submitted over on the Sound Search side. Let me take a listen to this one. Let's see what it sounds like. We're going into a SoundCloud link. Let's take a listen.
It's 4 a.m. and my eyes can't seem to close. I'm building worlds so I feel it in my bones. I breathe your outline when heat meets frigid air. You're there. Bathe me in moonlight. I'll sleep the day away. Color me candidly. Bearing shades of gray. You are what's beating and aching in my chest. You're there. Touch me softly with fingerprint. Bring my soul to deliverance. I can feel you lingering now. Drag me straight to the precipice. Stop me right when the feeling hits. Close my eyes and begin again now. It's 4 a.m. in my bed.
Shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. This record is called Precipice by Cammy. The main thing on this one, man, is, you know, it sounds like she could have a pretty okay voice. It's just pitched. It's pitch bad. You know what I mean? Like she's off key. And I was hoping that she would find the key, and she didn't really find it. Like it's just kind of like you're listening to it, and I'm like, okay. And normally I like to try to wait for at least to hear the hook to see if the hook has any type of melody that might be salvageable. And this is not like god awful. It's like, but you know, but it has the ability to kind of get better. But what I would suggest in this, and I know some people are going to have a conniption when I'm saying it, right? But what I like to try to give guys and gals is I like to try to give the listeners here, I like to give them practical ways to get up to speed, right? If you don't want to take the next 5 to 10 years trying to figure this shit out, you know, I'm trying to give you the most practical ways of really trying to get yourself turbocharged and get your music as fast as possible to commercial viability, right? And when I say commercial viability, meaning decent mixes, decent hooks, decent verses, right? Now, does it mean that your song is going to be a hit? It doesn't mean that, but at least it'll be technically sound, right? So at least we're not dealing with a record that doesn't have the right song structure, or we're not dealing with a record that doesn't have the right pitch, or we're not dealing with a record that has bad mixes. At least that type of feedback, it can get you at least to a baseline, right? And then, of course, the folks who put in more time and the folks who have true talent, their music is going to have, you know, better hooks or better melodies or better lyrics, right? Because that's just their talent, right? Because this is not a race where one size fits all. It's going to be a situation where only the best and the brightest are going to shine the best, right? It's not a situation where everybody is just going to be able to get in on equal footing because we're all putting in the same amount of work. A lot of this situation is going to be based on your talent. Maybe some folks just don't have the right amount of talent, or it's going to take longer for them to develop that type of talent and more work. So in a situation like this, I would probably suggest that she takes this record and then she runs it into something like Suno to get a cover, right? To see how her song could sound if it was delivered in the right pitch, in the key, right? To see how the hook could be delivered, a variation of that, right? And then you can take that information and then you can say, okay, you know what? I like what this iteration did for me. I like what it did here. I like what it did there. And then you can take that now as a vocalist and you can go recut your record. But now you got the framework. Now you have the reference of where your key needs to be or where you can improve your hook. And this is the stuff that people can do when you can't get into a writing room, right? So if you can't get into a writing room with other people to tell you, hey, your pitch is bad or that melody is kind of cool, but change this part of the hook or add this part or maybe that's too wordy, that's for you to get into writing rooms. And if you don't have the access to that, the closest thing you have to a partner in that or assistant would be something like AI that you can use to assist you. Now, folks may say, hey, I don't want to use AI, whatever, so forth and so on. Okay. You know, you don't have to use AI. Remember what I'm telling you to use it so that you can enhance your songwriting and your vocal ability so that you can understand where your pitch needs to be corrected, because AI is not going to give you something that's going to be in a horrible pitch and all that other good stuff. So at least what you could do is you can use it to get yourself up to speed faster. Now, if you don't want to use AI for that, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really how it should be getting used. It should be getting used as a learning tool to get artists and musicians to get better mixes, to get better song structure, right? That's how it should be used, right? Not necessarily being used just to spit out a whole bunch of outputs. You know, it should be used in a way that can enhance music, but you know, folks are not using it that way. So I can't knock them, but that's my suggestion, right? And like I said, if you don't want to spend the next 10, 15 years trying to figure this shit out, trying to figure out how you can get keys and pitch, like, these are the things that are really, like, they take time to develop, man. And I ain't going to hold you. For my first release, man, I had gotten into a car accident when I was like 21 years old. I crashed my car. I crashed my car with a lady this time, and I wound up crashing the car. I got a little bit of a settlement. It wasn't a lot of money, maybe like 3 G's. I took some of that money and I pressed up one of my first records from my homie. A shout out to Sean Anthony Baker. He's an actor now, big time actor, Hollywood. Shout out to him. Go check out Give Me Back My Daughter on Tubi and with Gabby Sabiti and my man Sean Anthony Baker. And then you can also check him out on the other joint called Strength of Love, right? But we pressed up a vinyl. We put the vinyl out. And if you ever go back and you ever listen to this song, man, all the chords are wrong. The chords are wrong. The drums is crazy. The sequencing is crazy. But we thought it was it. You follow? Because there was nobody to tell us at the time, this is not it. You follow? So, you know, when you have a tool like an AI situation that can kind of help you to navigate it faster, I'm suggesting people to use it. I'm not telling folks to take the vocal performances and all of that stuff. I'm telling folks to use the songs that you wrote. Use it for the songs that you wrote. Get covers for the songs and the beats that you're making. Listen to how those mixes are coming out from Suno. Like, we should be listening to those things. We should be listening to how these things are being listened to in terms of, like, we should be listening to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? We should be listening to how the mixes are coming out. We should be listening to how these songs are being put together. Like, these are the things that are important, man. Like, folks are not listening to that and paying attention. But shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. We got a person that skipped the line today. Shout out to Odessa. What up, man? He been submitting me his project one by one. And this is one of the all right, so what's up, man? This is your next track. It doesn't follow any music rules. He just did something unique. All right, we're gonna take a listen to it. So this is what I saw Odessa is doing. Shout out to him as a basically doing this R&B pop type vibe. You know what I'm saying? Doing these things that I kind of like what he's doing with this. But what he's doing is he's doing his project and he's submitting his project to me in real time. And what we're doing is, I'm giving him the feedback and he's implementing the musical feedback in real time, right? So I'm literally helping him to really produce his project, right, through the live stream. But some folks don't catch it, right? Some folks don't catch it. Like I'm doing something on the live stream that's helping an artist really with his project in real time. And folks are not really understanding, like, what would it really have cost to have me in your session? Folks are not really using the system the way they should be using the system, like how he's using the system. He's submitting the music so that I can hear the music, and then also building his relationship because his name is coming up a lot. And at the same time, he's utilizing my platform because we're verified on all platforms. So you never know who's watching and listening. So, some people just got to get an understanding of what it is. This song is called Apate. Right? Did I say that right? Apate or Apate. Well, I saw Odessa, man. We're going to take a listen to it. Let's see how it sounds. Shout out to Odessa on this one. He says this one doesn't follow any traditional rules in terms of how a record is supposed to sound. He's basically saying it's something that he's experimenting with as the intro to his project, and it's for us to kind of get an understanding of what it is. Now, part of my concern with it, like because of course he does what he does vocally. And I always appreciate him on that, doing what he does vocally. Right? I feel like it's starting off pretty slow. And I feel like musically, this first 30 seconds before you start singing, it's kind of confusing, right? Because we don't know as the listener what to actually to hone into, right? And this is part of the thing where we have to shout out to Rocky. Hey Deuce, what up in the building? Like we have to, like when we're delivering the type of feedback that we need to deliver on these type of things, right? We have to find something that's tangible, right? That I can actually tell them to go and fix, right? So what I'm saying is that when we're listening to this record on this first 30 seconds of this record, and it has this weird soundscape. The soundscape is not doing anything melodically that's really going to keep the listener engaged, right? It's just kind of like a weird sound that's kind of going straight, but the weird sound doesn't have like a musical cadence. It doesn't have a melody of a sort that's going to be able to keep the listener really engaged or involved. This is going to be one of those things where people will listen to this and be like, I don't get it, and then it'll probably skip over it, right? Because it's not doing anything that's quote unquote like melodically keeping us engaged. And then it goes on for too long. It was going on for maybe about 30 seconds, right? Before he actually starts to sing into it. And remember what's happening is that because we don't hear any rhythmic or anything that's melodically going, we don't understand how this record needs to ensnare us, right? In terms of, like, do we get a bop? Do we get a vibe? Like what is the music supposed to invoke in us? Is it supposed to invoke a head nod? Is it supposed to invoke a, like, what is it supposed to do for us? So if the music isn't doing that immediately, it kind of gets the listener somewhat lost, right? So I'm explaining to that. I'm explaining that clearly.
Where you found me first. No love ever found me like yours did.
And it doesn't really start to pick up to about right here.
Cause I know I'll be fine, but you won't hurry. I hope you cry to your pillow.
You see, like, how you got this part going right here, like that part of that record now it starts to provide us with the with the way that the sample is supposed to be consumed with the underbelly of the drum and the beat with your vocal performance, right? Because your vocal performance is airy, is dope, you know what I mean? It got an airy vibe to it. And then we're again, like I said, we're trying to figure out, like, what should we be doing with this record? Like, what should we be doing with it, right? So if it's not starting until, what's that, a minute and 30 seconds in, yeah, it's a little bit too late. You know what I mean?
I'll make sure that I'm right. All those lies tomorrow I'll write about. I fucked up, I got myself that night, but I love you still. You're my queen of the sea.
Yeah, I need that to be a little bit yeah, it's too abstract, right? I mean, it needs to anchor. And listen, I totally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably the best way to describe it, is that we need to anchor it either with the drums or we need to anchor it with the vocals somehow. We need to find a way to anchor the melody. We need to find a way to anchor the rhythm. We need to find a way to put those things into a certain type of context so that it can be consumed properly. I think that is probably where we're losing the listeners at. Because if you're looking at it from just a sonic kind of landscape, it's still. I understand you say you're trying to build attention. Remember what we have to pay attention to on this too, man. Is as a new artist, and people are trying to get into what you're delivering. It's like we have to find a way to spoon feed folks into that. You're not going to be able to dive into this thing where you're going to be like, yeah, I'm just expecting people to kind of really kind of get it, because remember, we're working from ground zero. So we kind of have to give folks, we have to spoon feed these folks. Got to give them a little bit of sweet with the bitter, right? We got to do these things, but we got to microdose it so that folks can get into it quickly, right? If we're trying to build this thing that's a little bit too abstract, then what happens is it only starts to make sense to you, right? And that's where it gets dangerous, because people will say, oh, if it only makes sense to you as the creator, then we don't need to hear that shit. Keep it in your basement. You follow? Like, we keep play it in your shower. Like, we don't need to hear it if it only starts to make sense to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of one of those things where we have to meet it in the middle. We have to find a way to translate what we're doing creatively in a way that can be digestible to the public and the general audience, right? Because for me as a producer, there are a bunch of things that I would like to do musically with a lot of my music. A lot of my music I would like to take in way different directions. But what happens is that, you know, unless I'm going to be able to execute the song from beginning to end myself, there's no way for me to really translate that to an artist and say, hey, this is what I need you to do, because they're not going to get it, right? So I have to create something now that's digestible for them so that they can listen to it, so that they can make it make sense for themselves. You know what I mean? Shout out to Deuce Nines in the building, man. What's up with my man Deuce? He says and shout out to ISAR, man. Listen, you've been submitting a nice set of music to me, and you know the way that this project is sounding, for the most part, the way that your project is sounding, your project is definitely sounding like something that, you know, kind of got a weekend feel, kind of got your own thing going. You got a different voice cadence that you're working with, and you know you're singing it a certain way, you're kind of hitting it a certain type of way. It's like, I think that you're moving in the right direction, man. And I understand what you're trying to do. You got to make something that nobody ever heard before. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. But we have to find a way to fold that into something that feels nostalgic, but doesn't necessarily sound nostalgic, right? So it's basically your own sound, but it reminds us of something else. You know what I'm saying? And that's what helps with folks being able to digest it in small doses. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. We'll try to listen to one more joint, 2 or 3 more joints, you know what I'm saying, before we get up out of here. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. This joint is called House Beat by Band. Let's see how his house beat sounds. Shout out to Deuce Nines, man. Appreciate you.
To know that you're the one I want. You're the one I want.
I'm listening to this, right? And it's like when I listen to this stuff, like I'm like, okay, it can definitely, I feel like he got the right sounds in it. Like, you know what I mean? In terms of like, there's something that I think might be able to be fixed in terms of like that vocal sample. I feel like that might need to, you know, get improved, etc. But I kind of like the way that the beat is kind of driving itself. You know what I mean? In terms of the sounds that he used. Shout out to my man Ben on this one. Give me 1 second. Shout out to everybody jumping into the live. You know, like how that sound right there kind of sounded like you, you know, like how you was kind of, you know, like how when you first started making beats and you was trying, you know, a bunch of things in one place. It just was kind of feeling like to me for a hot second. It's crazy. house beat, man. You know, if you guys, shout out Kaz in the building. What's up, man? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the building. Like, if you ever remember like your New York, like your New York house music when you was growing up, like when I was growing up, man, like it was something to behold. If you really think about it, it was crazy. This is crazy when I think about it. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into my Future Producer Society. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. All right. Just trying to get some things over here. All right. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live stream. Got so much going on in my head. Hey, Deuce, we gotta also we got to talk about what we're gonna do with these new changes for AI artists, and how, you know, the DSPs are gonna be putting in labels for AI artists, and, you know, music that's AI assisted and all that other stuff. So we definitely gonna have to talk about that and getting that taken care of. It's gonna be a big issue. Well, not really a big issue. I think for the yeah, because what I think, you know, I've been saying it from day one, man. If as long as we were adding the human element to it, and I've been saying this from day one, from the minute that I started to like do with the Cody and all of that stuff. Because my daughter asked me the other day, she said, Dad, what's up with the Cody? You know, she was like, you know, we really be liking that. Like, what's really happening with it? So I was like, listen, I was really waiting to see what these folks are going to do with this thing in terms of what the rules were going to be. Because before I started to so when I started to kind of put this stuff together, I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, like, yo, what's really happening with the landscape of AI music, right? So are we like, are we able to follow the rules, or are there rules that are really established, or are we just going to be able to just do whatever that we're doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I wanted them to kind of establish what those dynamics were going to look like before we started to really put anything into promotion. Because what I would have hated to have done would be to spend a bunch of bread trying to promote something that was going to get buried algorithmically, right? So now that I kind of have an understanding of what that looks like, you know what I'm saying, that's going to definitely work to our advantage. I still believe that once you kind of add the human element to it, that's going to help to prevent a lot of problems, you know what I'm saying? And as long as you're a co-main artist on that as well, I think that also helps to circumvent a lot of problems. Because what are they going to do? Are they going to pull it off of the algorithmic listening because you've attached an AI artist to your name? You know what I'm saying? Nothing stops us from collaborating, you follow? So I think this is part of the this is just part of the play, you know? And remember, it's the Wild Wild West, and we got to just make sure that we can do what we got to do so that we can copyright it, and so that we can also get ourselves together with it. But this joint is called Let It Breathe by Deuce Nines, Honor Stone. I see what he's done. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are noticing that, but the producer and the writer is also dealing with the artist. He's putting himself out there as the main artist, with the artist as the main artist. So you're doing a co-main artist, co-primary artist, is definitely different than featuring, right? What we want to stay away from Deuce Nines featuring Iron Stone or Iron Stone featuring Deuce Nines, because you don't get the benefit of the shared streaming data, right? So the primary artist is the one that's going to get the monthly listeners and all of that streaming stuff that's going to show up on their page and their analytics, and not for the featured artist. And in some cases, the featured artist won't even come up in terms of being searched for. So, that kind of, hopefully that helps. Let's take a listen to this joint. Let's go.
Don't let it breathe.
Gone, yeah.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Let it breathe.
Let it breathe.
Gone, let it breathe. If it wanna leave, let it leave. I done gave enough for me. Gone, let it breathe. Gone, let it breathe. Ain't no fixing what don't wanna be. Put some space between you and me. Yeah. Gone, let it breathe. Yeah, yeah. I used to chase every word that you swallow. Call back twice when you said maybe tomorrow. Pride got expensive, I paid it in sorrow. Whole lot of love with a tank running hollow. Hold up, maybe that's me. Maybe I kept watering something with no seed. Maybe that door wasn't stuck, it was closed. I'm on the porch trying to pick at the lock with a rose, that's funny. Look what we do for attachment. Turn one good night to a lifelong contract and call it commitment when really it's habit. No, it ain't working, still reaching to grab it. Nah, hands off, back up, give it some room. Dead flowers stink when you keep them in bloom. Some things die, some things leave, some things only make sense when you let them breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't let it breathe. If it wanna leave, let it leave. Fixing what don't wanna be. Put some space between you and me. Yeah. Gone, let it breathe. Yeah, yeah. I used to chase every word that you swallow. Call back twice when you said maybe tomorrow. Pride got expensive, I paid it in sorrow. Whole lot of love with a tank running hollow. Hold up, maybe that's me. Maybe I kept watering something with no seed. Maybe that door wasn't stuck, it was closed. I'm on the porch trying to pick at the lock with a rose, that's funny. Look what we do for attachment. Turn one good night to a lifelong contract and call it commitment when really it's habit. No, it ain't working, still reaching to grab it. Nah, hands off, back up, give it some room. Dead flowers stink when you keep them in bloom. Some things die, some things leave, some things only make sense when you let them breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't let it breathe. If it wanna leave,
I think that bar is off, bro.
ain't no fixing what don't wanna be. Put some space between you and me. Yeah. Gone, let it breathe. Yeah, yeah. I used to chase every word that you swallow. Call back twice when you said maybe tomorrow. Pride got expensive, I paid it in sorrow. Whole lot of love with a tank running hollow. Hold up, maybe that's me. Maybe I chase every word that you I used to chase every word that you swallow. Call back twice when you said maybe tomorrow. Pride got expensive, I paid it in sorrow. Whole lot of love with a tank running hollow. Hold up, maybe that's me. Maybe I kept watering something with no seed. Maybe that door wasn't stuck, it was closed. I'm on the porch trying to pick at the lock with a rose, that's funny. Look what we do for attachment. Turn one good night to a lifelong contract and call it commitment when really it's habit. No, it ain't working, still reaching to grab it. Nah, hands off, back up, give it some room. Dead flowers stink when you keep them in bloom. Some things die, some things leave, some things only make sense when you let them breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't let it breathe. If it wanna leave, let it leave. I done gave enough for me. Gone, let it breathe. Oh, gone, let it breathe. Ain't no fixing what don't wanna be. Yeah. Put some space between you and me. Yeah. Gone, let it breathe. Yeah. I'm sitting with silence, it talk pretty loud. Funny how peace get uncomfortable now. Phone don't buzz and I don't check twice. That used to feel lonely, now that feel nice. Wait, that's growth or avoidance, depends who you asking. I'm enjoying the quiet, no courtroom speech, no closing argument. No villain, no hero, no need for acknowledgement. I loved you, that's true, you love me probably. But love ain't a reason to keep something breathing when every inhale got somebody bleeding. So take your side, I'll take mine. Take that picture at the frame this time. No hate in my chest, no war on my sleeve. Just one last thing, don't let it breathe.
That one is good.
Let it breathe. Let it breathe, let it breathe, let it breathe. Don't pull it back, don't make it speak. If it's gone, gone.
This joint is sounding good too, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is a dope hook to me, man. Like, it's a real catchy hook. It's look, y'all gonna stop these 13 bars type. Y'all gonna stop these 9 and 13 bar games, man. Like, y'all gotta, nah, bro. It's like, no, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it throws off the, like, you know, because it's supposed to land, and it's not landing where it's landing. Like, see how your second verse, it lands, and it's exactly where it needs to be. That other part is kind of like, well, adding a little bit extra, which I guess is okay. You know what I mean? But it's like, did my flow just kind of get disrupted a little bit? You know what I mean? Something to consider. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Now, if it's something that you're gonna do throughout the music that makes it your signature, you know, you might be able to ride with that. You know what I'm saying? Is it unorthodox? Yes. You know, does it sound completely terrible? No. Does it take some getting used to? Yes. Yeah. But everything else, okay. Then if that's what it is, then, you know. But everything else for me is exactly, you know, doing what you're doing, man. Like, you know, like, you got a good feel to it, you know. And I feel like this tandem of Deuce Nines, Honor Stone, man, like, this is important, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is important to build both things concurrently. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not believe that you should, you know, backseat your production or your songwriting. Don't do that. You know, put that shit out front and center, so people know that it's you doing what you're doing. And what that'll help to do is that'll help to garner more followers. That'll help to garner more work. That'll help to garner more sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's important in terms of your branding ability. It's like, once we start to hear these things, we be like, okay, this is a Deuce Nines joint, man. You know what I mean? This is going to make a lot more sense there. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I'm looking at this, right? And I'm looking at this thing from a different vantage point. Like there's so much work to be done, and there's so much work that can be done. It's going to take some time. Gio, what up? Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. Shout out to everybody that's jumping onto SoundSurge and who's putting their music into this ecosystem. You guys are becoming the first set of 1,000 users, right, that are using this platform. And you have to recognize and realize that, you know, you're putting yourself in an ecosystem that gives you organic discovery mechanism. There's really no mechanism for that right now. Folks may say that it's TikTok and it's socials, but it's like, remember what's happening is that these things are trying to move away from music. They're just trying to really lean on content creators and trying to move away from music discovery. So you kind of have to find new ways to have your music discovered, new ways to drive traffic, new ways to connect with new artists and new producers and new listeners. And I think this is going to be the intersect of all of those things. And shout out to everybody that's actually jumping in on the curator side, right? Because as a curator, you know, you kind of get to do what we're doing in terms of reviewing people's music, listening to other people's music. If you're a producer that's doing this, in terms of if you're a producer listening to other people's music, you know, this is the way that you kind of, one, build your audience, and two, build your network. Everything is about building your audience and building your network and finding your voice in the internet ecosystem, right? So the more that you do it, the more people that are going to gravitate to it, and you'll start to build your tribe. How long does it take? I don't know what your number is going to be. You know what I mean? Everybody's number is different. Some people can grow their socials like it seems overnight. Some people have socials that take years to build. It just depends, you know what I mean, on who you are as an individual talent, and then really what your discipline is and your cadence is, you know what I mean? Live talent and AI, that is the cheat code. I'm trying to tell folks. I'm trying to tell them, like, that is the cheat code, man. Like, you got to be able to put yourself as a musician, yourself as a songwriter, as a producer, and just using the tools that are available to you to supercharge what it is that you fucking do. If it's like basically one guy is going in with a screw gun, and one guy's going in with a screwdriver. You know what I mean? Like, they both do the same job, but one guy's going to get a whole lot more work done. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you can submit it. You can submit it on the Nero if you want to. It depends on where you want to get it at. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody getting into the live right now. Folks that are jumping into the Sound Surge. It's a Green Lantern ring. Listen, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love this thing, man. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, you gotta love this thing, man. This thing is tough. You know, I had a few conversations with Mike D earlier this week, because he was like, yo, I'm trying to get used to this new school schedule, because, I got kids that are transitioning into different schools and stuff. So I'm just trying to get used to this new school schedule and trying to find my work schedule around, what's happening with my kids and so forth and so on. But, we had a bunch of things that was happening, and, I had a bunch of records that people were picking up. And it's just interesting to see where music is right now. It's interesting to see what people are liking, what artists are gravitating to. The songs that they're picking from us, the beats that they're taking, it's really different. You know what I'm saying? It's not what it used to be. But at the same time, I'm grateful to be in a space where my ear is, where our ear is still good to the point where we can still land. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times what happens is that you can be in this business, So what I would say is that remember what we're doing here, man. We're doing first come, first serve, man. So, out of respect for the other 1,846 people that submit their record, you can just drop it on the Nero side, and if you want me to listen to it in real time, you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, the foundation will always be the foundation, man. That's my thing. I think that we, and that's part of the other thing that I'm looking at too. I'm looking at trying to get folks to understand, and as we start to go back into the, as we start to go back into the music production tutorials, because we will be going back into that shortly, hopefully by the sometime toward the middle of the month, or we're already at the middle of the month, but 2/3 of the month. But as we start to go back into that, we got to start breaking down the mechanics of how, what makes records stick. What are we listening for? Where's the melodies at? What are the nuances of really picking certain things and using certain sounds? These are the things that stand out. And, we have to start analyzing people's music and start analyzing everybody's music and see where people are, trying to figure these things out. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. It's interesting when I look at Instagram. Kaz and Deuce, man, let me know when y'all gonna start hosting y'all live surge sessions. Let me know. so I can crash the party. You know what I mean? I always like to see folks doing their thing and, you know, jumping into their live and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? I'm about to jump off this thing in a hot second. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. What's the name of this record? I don't even know what this record is. Loading the project again. Slow it down. Yeah. We'll do this one. And what's up, man? Thanks for jumping in. Shout out to all those folks. Shout out to everybody that jumped into the Nero. We've had a total of 1,847 submissions. I want to thank everybody that
Arkatech Beatz.
I want to thank everybody that's been, you know, submitting their records for me to listen to. Shout out to all of the folks that we've been able to help with their music get better. Shout out to my folks that are in my producer group, to my members, folks that are taking some of the stuff that we're providing in terms of information, song structure, music publishing, music copyright. We're teaching everything. If you're not part of our Future Producer Society, even as an artist, make sure you're jumping into that at school.com/Future Producer Society. Link is on the screen. And I can guarantee you, man, there's nothing on the internet like what we're doing. Not with what we're doing, not the way that we're trying to teach it, and not with the level of experience that we got. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's jumping in. About to jump up out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining and everybody for submitting this evening. Not sure what's happening with it. Did you try to put it through Nero? You know what I mean? Shout out to did you try that one? The link that I gave you, the Nero link. Submitting a MP3 or you submitting a link? Try MP3. Put it through the Nero side, Gio. But you may need to skip the line. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. French Montana. French Montana, Max B, Rose working on a project right now. If you know, you know. What a wonderful time to be alive. That's all I can say. What a wonderful time to be alive. Shout out Gio on the building. Gio, where you from? We're gonna take a listen to this joint. It's called Waiting. You from Orlando? We'll take a listen to this. Let's just go.
and waiting and waiting this time. Can't see the signs, think I'm going blind. I fell in love and I told her she mine. Don't know what to think, I can't pick a side. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. I'm trying to tell you, girl. Yeah, I'm done talking. The eyes on me, they watching. They know my name when I walk in. Ain't with the chit chat, ain't with the talking. Ain't gonna work with you, not gonna lock in. Been here before, girl, I know that it's toxic. I'm grinding hard, baby, I'm never stopping. All of my Instagram, I know you stalking.
You asshole!
Don't say much, so I'll leave them all curious. Say you hate me, girl, baby, are you serious? Made the shit for you, hope you feeling it. So much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. I'm trying to tell you, girl. I just been waiting and waiting and waiting this time. Can't see the signs, think I'm going blind. I fell in love and I told her she mine. Don't know what to think, I can't pick a side.
Shout out to Gio Cordova on this one. Yeah.
I just been waiting and waiting and waiting this time. Can't see the signs, think I'm going blind. I fell in love and I told her she mine. Don't know what to think, I can't pick a side. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. I'm trying to tell you, girl. Yeah, I'm done talking. The eyes on me, they watching. They know my name when I walk in. Ain't with the chick.
Alright, so my we gotta give you some feedback on this one, my brother. Like the way this is sounding right now, right? And I kind of need to get an understanding of when you're rapping, what are you actually what part of the beat are you actually rapping to? Are you rapping to the drums? Are you rapping to the like the strings in it? Like what are we actually rapping to? Because in this, all right, so because the way that this is sounding right now, this is sounding like you're like off beat off this joint, off the rip. So the way that this record is going right now is like it's not right. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not on the beat with that, right? So for example,
I fell in love and I told her she. I just been waiting and waiting and waiting this time. Can't see the signs, think I'm going blind. I fell in love and I told her she mine. Don't know what to think, I can't pick a side. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so much I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's so.
You see where it goes? I'm trying to tell you, girl. It's like that is falling off of the beat. So if I'm in the booth with you, if you're in the booth with me and you laying that down, I'm like, that's not going with the beat. That's going off and veering off of the beat immediately. Right?
So much I'm trying to tell you, girl. I'm trying to tell you, girl. Yeah, I'm done talking. The eyes on me, they watching. They know my name when I walk in. Ain't with.
Same thing with here. That's that. Walk in. That's that. Like we got to make sure that we are on the beat. You know what I'm saying? So in some cases, should you use a metronome? Yes. You know what I'm saying? If you need to hear a metronome, yes. You know what I'm saying? Because what's gonna happen, right? So say for example, like let me just so like if I'm playing this beat now, right? And in some cases, what you can actually ask the engineer to do, I don't know if you have the beat in stems. If you have the beat in stems, you can actually tell them to take out some of that instrumentation if you're having a hard time hearing where it's landing, right? So I might say take out the sample, or take out the sample, or take out a portion of it, so that you can kind of can hear the clicks. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Girl, I'll be waiting. You know what I'm saying? So that we got to be on the click. We got to be on the right. We got to make sure that we're on it. Like for you as a rapper, if you're off beat, folks ain't listening to you. Like they're not gonna be nice about it. They're gonna tell you how they're gonna basically just show you the door. So like for the main thing here is that we have to make sure that we're doing that. And then also when we're writing this stuff out, we have to make sure that when we're writing it, that we're not going too wordy, too many syllables, right? Like these are the things that we're going to have to pay attention to, because these are all the things that contribute to music being offbeat. Is sometimes folks are putting in too many words to make it rhyme. Sometimes folks are using words that have too many syllables, right? These are part of the issues that create a song that doesn't necessarily move the way it needs to move, right? If we don't have these cadences going, then we're going to be totally up shit's creek, you know what I'm saying? So we're not going to be able to move these records the way we need to move these records. Additionally, we want to make sure that the music is following a song structure. And I tell folks, jump into my Future Producer Society so you can kind of see these infographics and things like that we're sharing. It's like you have to make sure that your music is also following some sort of song structure, right? So if you notice what we have here, we're starting the record off with a 4-bar count. We're going right into a hook, and you kind of did that with your record, which is a good sign, right? So you started off with a decent intro, you went into a hook, and then we got to make sure that we're playing the right game in terms of telling the story with the 8 verse, shift the story with a mini verse and 4 bars, and then going back to the hook. But the music also needs to do that, not just the vocal performance. You know what I'm saying? So the vocal performance needs to do that, and then the music needs to follow that format. So now we need to make sure that the music is dynamically matching you, taking out snares, or maybe we're adding in instruments at certain places in the song to make sure that we're creating the story for the song and we're following an accurate song structure. These things are very, very important, man, to make sure that your record is going to stand out in the marketplace, right? So what do I need you to work on? The beat, I think, is decent. You know what I'm saying? The beat is not like terrible. You know what I mean? So
the chit chat ain't with the talking. Ain't gonna work with you, not gonna lock in. Been here before, girl, I know that it's toxic. I'm grinding hard, baby, I'm never stopping. All of my Instagram, I know you stalking. You asshole!
You know what I'm saying? Could the mix be a little bit better? Yes. Could the master be a little bit better? Yes. In these cases, man, wherever you can find a little bit of help, see if you can get the help. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes we got to try to do a lot of things ourselves, but what happens is that if there's nobody to bounce it off that has more experience than you do, then what happens is it's kind of like the blind leading the blind, right? So we definitely want to make sure that we're bouncing these records off of somebody, you know what I mean? That we can make sure we can get it together. But listen, I appreciate you sharing that with us, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you stepping up to the stage and taking that feedback and basically making sure that you can take that and you can add that into your game. For your next joint now, when I hear your next joint, or if I hear this back again, I expect it to be a little bit more, in terms of making sure that we're on beat. Again, like use the metronome in best cases to kind of make sure you're keeping your cadence. Don't be afraid to pull out instruments. Sometimes what I've seen some artists do in the past is the artist would ask us to strip out certain parts of the beat so that they can lay their vocal on, right? They may want to lay their vocal to the drum track, right? Just to make sure that their timing is good. And then what happens is after they've done everything, then they'll add back in the music in there, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of also the game to make sure that they're on flow. Because remember, from my era, the flow was everything. If you was Big Daddy Kane, it was the flow. If you was, Jay-Z with the flow. Early Nas, the flow. Cool G Rap, the flow. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy, right? A little bit of it unorthodox flow because remember every other line wasn't rhyming the way we used to hear it rhyme. You know what I mean? So he was doing things a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Buckshot, whatever. You listen to the Black Moon, or if you're listening to Max. If you're a Max fan, you know that's the whole point of being wavy. Are you a guy? What he takes? And it'll be what they say. You know what I'm saying? $24 and dimes. Like I used to be Nathan Bethard. You got to be on that beat, man. If you ain't got that, if you're not on that beat, you ain't on that flow, man. It's like you're doing yourself a disservice, you know. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the live. About to jump up out of here. Something already, dude? You heard? Did you send it already? Okay, cool. Shout out to everybody, man, jumping in the live, man. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Yeah, man, I appreciate you, Cass. Well, like I said, man, I'm waiting for y'all guys. Listen, man, Gio, man, listen. The whole thing with folks. Listen, I think what happens with some folks, man, and I think to your point, man, like you're like I want to be able to talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest, and I'm trying to be fair about it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a mutual thing here. I'm trying to help folks at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to do this stuff in a way that I can do it that makes sense for me, right? Just in terms of my time, in terms of there's a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's jumping in on the Sound Surge side. Shout out to everybody that's jumping in on the, you know, the Neuro side. Folks that are trying to utilize these platforms. Yeah, we're just trying to, you know, we're trying to create an ecosystem where we can help to build people up, bro. This music shit is hard. I don't want people to get it twisted. This music shit is hard, man. It requires people to have thick skin. It requires people to be able to really understand what the fuck going on. Like, this is not an easy thing. I think a lot of us are like, you know, a lot of us are gluttons for punishment doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being 100 with a lot of people, like, yo, we're glutton for punishment doing this shit. Like, trying to get people to like what it is that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we try to get people to like what it is that we do, man. Like, this is hard, you know? But listen, when you finally get to the point where people is like, I like this, you know? When you get to the point where somebody reaches out to you and be like, yo, I'm listening to your joint, or your joint got me through college, or I listen to this song when I drive real fast and I got like 5 speeding tickets to your record. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll get to that point where people start to appreciate it and they start to fold their music into their daily lives. That's when you're really making like a real impact. And that's when you start to realize the true value of music. Like, music is really supposed to help people just really deal with their day-to-days and help them to get through their different portions of their life. You know what I mean? So when that starts to happen, like, you know, and every now and again, I might reach out to an artist. I might reach out like the Deuce. I might be like, yo, this G.O.D. record, like, I really like this G.O.D. record. I say, yo, if you see a bunch of streams in your analytics, that's probably me. You know what I'm saying? Because I got it on repeat and it resonates with me. And music is supposed to do that. It's supposed to really resonate with you, man. When it resonates and it really connects, it's like you're opening a whole new world for a whole lot of people. And it's really a superpower when you think about it, when you start to kind of get used to understanding what it takes to really move that needle. So shout out to everybody that's jumping in, man. Shout out to everybody that's really, that's rocking with me, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Folks this is something that I just started, you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't been doing this thing, in terms of the live stream stuff, it's only been a little bit over a year, right, Cass? Like I've really just been trying to get folks to really, hear what we're doing and trying to get folks good and trying to let folks understand that we're trying to do something that's going to be positive and uplifting to folks. And we're not trying to tear people down. We're trying to build people up. We're trying to create a nice ecosystem of folks. We're trying to create a place where people can literally share information, learn, people could grow, people can feel like, I want to say a safe space, but at the same time, we got to do what we're doing, just making it work. So, shout out to everybody jumping in, doing what they do. Shout out to everybody that's listening to the music, that's like really learning from the music. Shout out to everybody that's jumping into the Future Producer Group, folks that are, in my sessions, like, listening to me run my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the other day I was on the line. I was like on the line for like 2 hours. I'll just be talking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like my wife be like, "Yo, you just be having all this information," and I'm just like, "Yo, it's like overload for me. It's like it's just so much that I be experiencing. You know what I mean? Like I experience so much with this music industry, and this music industry is like." It's like there's so many things that happen behind the doors, the politics and the politics and trying to keep people away from the bullshit. And then you see the stuff happening on real time right now. You see like a bunch of things happening with like Charlemagne and Ray Daniels and this and that, and you see academics, and then you see what's going on with Drake, and you see what's going on with Jay-Z and all that stuff. Because what you're seeing is people are vying and fighting for real power and real influence through music. That's what you're seeing in real time. You're seeing people really fight for true power and true influence in, through music. You know what I'm saying? This is what Diddy used to have, is that power and influence through music, until for whatever reason he's rubbed the people the wrong way, and they move him out the way. And typically that's how it works in certain systems, is that if you've become powerful and influential, and you've become too powerful and too influential, the system is designed, if you don't play ball, it's designed to kind of tear people down. I don't know if you kind of noticed that. You know what I'm saying? So like, and what happens is, and how they normally get guys, is they get guys to overindulge in the things that the music industry loves to make. The music industry loves, it's rock and roll. They want people to do drugs. They want people to do alcohol. They want people to womanize, right? They want people to party. They want people to do all those things at a very, very extreme clip, to the point where you compromise yourself. And once you compromise yourself, then you got to play ball with the powers that be, because the powers that be start to come in and say, hey, we need this from you. We need your platform to promote this message, or your platform to promote this, agenda. And if you're not going to play ball with it, then we're going to use, your indulgence or your overindulgence of certain activities to tear down everything you built. You know what I'm saying? So this is just one of those type of things. So, I'm hoping that I can really give people insight, man, and say, how do you navigate this without falling into that? Is you got to have a strong support system, and you got to be one of those dudes that, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, and you got to be one of those dudes that don't get too excited. You know what I'm saying? You see certain things, you get too excited, and you be like, yo, I never felt this before, and the dopamine gets you. And you be like, man, I ain't never been in these mansions, and oh man, I ain't never been to these white parties. And oh man, that's such and such over there, and oh, this person actually liked me. And like, if you're not used to that type of attention, if you're not used to that money, if you're not used to those things become too euphoric and they use it against you. You know what I mean? So you got to kind of understand what the playing field is. So, you know, we kind of try to see things play out in rap music right now. The old guard is trying to hang on to power. They don't want to give the new guard no leverage. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to give Drake his props. They don't want to make Drake sit at the table. They don't like what he represents. You know, maybe because they can't control him. That's what I'm starting to realize. Wait a second, they can't seem they can control him. That seems to be what the issue is here. It's like you can't control him. You would think that he was the guy that would be the most kind of like the corporate shill type of guy. And it seems like that's not really the case. It seems like he's more independent than a lot of these guys that claim to be independent. You know, you just got to kind of look at it for really what it is. But, you know, that's a different story for a different day. You know me, I could be on this thing talking about it forever. And let's see what it do, you know what I mean? But shout out to everybody jumping into the live, man. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow on the next one. Y'all be safe, man. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace out. Be safe. Ashkin, what up, man? I ain't even see you, man. Shout out to him.